What's up everybody, back at it again with another Magnum Quest video, and in this one I'm going to be giving the updated Prank of the Year Fake Santa Claus optimal setup. New boss buffs have been unlocked since my first video, well basically all of them, they're only missing one more which should be opened up very soon. So I don't see this setup changing but instead improving. I mean it could, but if it does it just means I have to make another updated video, but it's very unlikely. So let's check out the latest one, let's get it. So at the beginning, I showed two setups. The first one was with Harry, Cinia, Wyndon, Amelia, and Sir. The second one was with Fang, Cinia, Wyndon, Harry, and Sir. Hero placement varied for both. These two were what I found to be the best at the time given the current boss buffs. Also, if you're not familiar with the boss mechanics, check out my first video. It's going to be clickable at the end of this one as I break it down, pausing the fight, etc. so you can get a clear understanding of how this fight works. This video is more of a follow-up with a better updated setup. So far, these are the buffs. We have all allies damage increased by 20%, then all enemies sustain damage twice. All allies restore 30 points of energy per second. Due to the energy one, I found two supports weren't needed anymore. So naturally I knocked out Cinia because Harry is still the MVP of supports. And then all allies attack speed increases by 20%. All allies attack increases by 25%. And then all allies crit rate increases by 20%. This allows for more optimization to factor in more crit damage. And then for the final one, I have no idea yet, but I do have a feeling based off the stats that have been said so far, it won't change up the meta, and I think it's going to be probably maybe critical damage or maybe a haste buff. So naturally, because I dropped Cinia, I wanted to add in another DPS. Now I did do some testing, not very much, but with like a couple different heroes in case your hero pool is like limited and may not have access to the most optimal DPS at this moment. It's definitely not as good, but at least you have some options. So Fang seems to be irreplaceable. No matter if I place the better rune on my Hista, for some reason he's just still out DPSing her despite being ice blocked. It's very weird. The other DPS heroes would be like you could choose maybe Ares, Cyan, Fabian, basically any other form of like DPS. Then of course if you have a strong Hista, she would be the best choice alongside Fang that I know of right now. So a couple things to note that I have found out since the first video I posted regarding this fake Santa boss, whether that be tips or changes due to the boss buff unlocks. Number one, now that there is a crit buff, if you truly wanted to, you could now optimize your DPS even further if possible by dropping 20% crit chance since it's now a boss buff. If you can still maintain 100% crit chance, of course. And then you can add in more critical damage to further their damage. Number two, with the energy boss buff, I found energy gain isn't that much of an issue anymore. So if you have a nice gold red attack rune, you could use it on your Wyndon. Same goes for Harry, as the attack buff directly improves his ultimate attack buff for your allies, thus improving overall damage. And then for Sir as well. Then number three, cards can factor in, of course. I'll be doing a separate video on cards, like I mentioned when they first came out. I just need to get more familiar with like the best ones for PvE and then PvP. But you got some pretty nice ones you can choose from, like some pretty nice boss cards. You got the Wyndon one, which I'll put on the screen right now. I'm giving critical damage. I don't have this one yet, but it would be nice. Or you can use the Hista one, which amplifies damage for your team on bleeding targets. So using heroes like Hista, of course, with her AoE, meaning area damage, makes quick use of this extra damage for your team. And then number four, timing is everything. I think with these buffs, it's a lot easier to one-shot the ice blocks with Wyndon. So getting that perfect timing soon as your hero is put in the ice will decide the leaderboard even more. Because right here, I'm just going to bring up the boss skill description. It says here, the higher the integrity of the ice cube, the more damage Fake Santa sustains when it is destroyed. So you really need to time this so it's instantly broke. I've noticed sometimes you can even get away with clicking Wyndon's ult even before the boss brings back his hand, which is the indicator that he's gonna put one of your heroes in an ice block. So let's just go over my best hits so far with the optimal setup. It's going to be Hista, Fang, Wyndon, Sir, and Harry. I'm not entirely sure here if placement is a huge issue. I have seen players saying Wyndon in the front is better since he's closer to the ice cubed hero, which in my case would be Fang, so his ultimate doesn't need to travel as far, but it really doesn't matter if he's in the back or the front. If you time it correctly, it doesn't matter, he's just going to instantly break the ice cube. Personally, for me, after my testing, having him in the back is easier to time, as you have a little bit more wiggle room here compared to right up close when the fake Santa brings his hand up, and then he's going to put your hero in that ice block. So I think 36 will be the highest amount of integrity bar, and then from there, it's just tweaking your damage in between with your heroes and cutting down the time it takes to break the ice cube. So hopefully everyone who's attempting to make the top leaderboards are able to do so. I personally think this Christmas border or frame, whatever you want to call it, is much better than the free one you got with the Christmas login rewards. So that's why I'm going a little bit more harder than this one compared to the Halloween boss. Well, that's a little bit of a lie. It also has to do that I didn't have like a good star map Durla or Issy. So yeah, that event was pretty much not catered towards me, and that was probably the bigger reason. But this one, I do have my Winden maxed out, so it's a lot easier for me to put up those numbers, considering Winden is the MVP in this setup. Before I end the video, I'm just going to click on the battle replay, then click on hero setup, so you can see all my hero star maps, see how far I've advanced them. You can see the gear they have, how much it's enhanced, and then the runes I use. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for future videos, stay tuned for the next one.